Hello everyone, we are back. I'm back. We are live right here with another demo for you on Essential Stencil's page. So I used Fusion's colour Raw Silk and I grabbed my brush and painted the entire canvas in raw silk. Then while the raw silk was still wet, I got Fusion's colour Rose Water and I thought that this was a nice colour that would go nicely with the little pinkish tones that are on the rabbits. And I got the colour Rose Water. I got a different brush and I'll show you that brush here. And I just blended it in the middle while the raw silk was wet. I used a misting spray to just kind of really lightly mist the surface, and then I went over that then. Now I can see, I'm not sure if you can see that here, let me see, a little bit of a streak right here that's got a little bit more raw silk than pink. So I've got this pink still on the brush. Let me just drag that across there and see if I can blend that in. And always the rose pink will look a little bit lighter when it's wet than it does when it's dry. So let me see if I can catch some of your comments. Let me look at the raw silk colour, see if I can sort of mist and spray just to get this a little bit more even, so I've got that raw silk colour coming drier. All right, so I'll show you that again in just a minute. We'll open up these little rabbit bunny portraits. I want to do a quick cut out to see where they'll go. Now I could put them just side by side as they are on the sheet of paper, on the backing sheet. I could just put them straight like that. And actually that is probably the perfect distance away. Now they do have this line across the bottom, so you could do a couple of things with that. My canvas is going to be visible all the way to the bottom, so I feel like I want to put them right at the bottom and just leave a bit of a gap at the top, and that's fine. I think they'll look more natural if they are right at the edge there. If I was to lift them up, you could also do this and create a bit of a, like go over with a paintbrush and sort of move those around a little bit. So, all right, here's our transfers. I'm just going to take both of them off. They're going to both sit on this together. I have to stand up to do this, you all. All right, I'm going to go down with the bottom. Thankfully our postman, well, I don't know, does anyone still get letters or bills in the mail? There's so much is done electronically these days that we rarely get any mail anymore. All our bills come electronically. And so over here in Australia anyway, the mail courier people only come every second day now. They started that just maybe a couple of years ago. And it used to be that they were here every day, but no. There's a lot more packages being delivered, but less letters. And so the motorbike posties, we call them, just come every second day. Which is, I'm thankful that the dog's only barking that once every second day instead of, she really just goes off, goes crazy. Will you excuse me if I just turn it the right way around for me so that you'll be upside down for a minute, because I feel like I'm trying to do it. It's uncomfortable, you know. It's just kind of, oh, where am I? What am I doing? You like the walnut idea? Oh, Elena says possibly take the darkest colour from the rabbit. We could do that. Finding my book underneath the canvas. There it is. Oh, this is a lot quicker if I do it this way because I'm coming down from the top rather than trying to go backwards, sideways. I don't know what way I was coming. That's a lot faster. Coming across here, just found a little bit that was not coming away. All right, there we go. That is so cute. I just love it. Even with a nice the blonde pine wood, it's going to look lovely in that frame. So let me just turn that around for you. I can take my books away. And I'll show you what we've been working on today. For those of you who missed the beginning, I showed you how I described how I painted the background. You can see that background, can't you? The pink and the white. So then that sits into this cool wood frame. And would you believe, I mentioned this at the beginning, that I found this. It's really a rather large frame, the frame size. And I know you can get these in your craft stores over there. I'm not sure how much they are in the craft store. The canvas itself is 19 and a half inches by 15 and a half. And then including the frame, that brings it out to like 20 and a half. So the frames aren't quite 1 inch, but and it brings it out to 16.5 inches. But there's a gap in between, so we call it a floating frame. And then there's some screws that it came with. So I found this in a thrift store, you guys, for $6.50, which if I translate my Australian dollars to American, it's probably like your $4 or $3.50 or something. So look at what we've done today. Let me just point this up again so I can see you all. There we go. Let's see if I've got that right. I wanted to show you a bit of another sort of a blending technique in the background. Actually, I was going to do that. I'm going to do a stain in the background using Homestead Blue, and then I wanted to add a stenciled pattern. So I will be stenciling today as well. So here's how I create a stain just using paint. So you can either paint this on as a beautiful background, which would be lovely as well, or you could use a damp cloth. I'll use a damp cloth today, or you can paint it on and then wipe it off. So all I'm doing is grabbing a little bit of that paint colour and adding it to the board, and I've squeezed out my cloth so that it's not too wet. I just want to add the colour of the paint onto the board. So it will dry really quickly. You can see the grain of the wood through there. And we will hit that with the hairdryer. Someone said, what colour are you using? Angie, this is the colour Homestead Blue, and this brown is Woodwick, and they're from Fusion Mineral Paint, where you can use my code and get 10% off if you order online. All right, so this is a stencil set, and there's another stencil in the 2-pack. It's full botanical patterns. Now, I saw this one on sale at the moment. I believe it was $10 for the set. So if you are getting some of the transfers and you're looking for some patterns to put on furniture, or these are great for inside drawers of furniture or on the sides of drawers, or just to add the front of drawers, to add a little feature on your pieces of furniture. So if you love furniture painting, I've got examples of that on my website, irestorestuff.com. Okay, I'm going to try and use very little of this brown. I'm just adding a bit to the brush, and in fact, I'm going to offload it on here. I was going to add a bit of dampness just on this clear bit here to my brush. I don't like to usually dampen my brush, but we'll see how this goes. Just want to make it a subtle background for our transfer. Okay, so there's those ones at the bottom. Oh, I just shifted my stencil accidentally. It is really subtle. You can't tell it's not very heavy. So let me see, can you see that? All right, so we've got that part on, and then I'm going to add my transfer, and I just need my transfer tool to find some kind of white pen to go over them with. But the rest of the design has a kind of whitish background. So, if I had thought about it before I put this down, I could have sort of done a little bit of a white feature here and a splash. I tend to stick to the plastic a bit. This is still working nicely, and it's going nice on the wood. So you can still see it, but it just doesn't stand out as much, okay? So when I get my sealer on top of that, it should turn out a little bit deeper, the colours. So you did this transfer last year? Yes, use a lighter background if you're going to use those words. Some say to use a heat gun on it, and that helps. Yeah, Sherry, I have heard of that. I have tried a heat gun at times, but I mean, maybe that would have just come off right away, but I'm always a little hesitant. I always kind of just want to make sure. Okay, so I love that. See you again next Wednesday, 7 p.m. for another DIY project. Catch you then. Bye.